Welcome to today's live session on how to unlock powerful out-of-the-box Power BI dashboards for D365 F&O and leverage the Data Lake and BI4Dynamics for supercharged reporting. My name is Brittany Buck, and I'm a solutions specialist at Corporate Renaissance Group, a acquisitive company and premier BI4Dynamics partner. I would like to thank you for spending your time with us today as we touch on the very important topics of data and analysis and what the new D365 F&O Data Lake and BI4Dynamics can do for you. It is my pleasure to introduce you to your two very esteemed hosts, Dr. Vijay Jog, who is the founder of Corporate Renaissance Group and strategic advisor to global business applications for Corporate Renaissance Group's parent company and 2019 Microsoft Partner of the Year, Acquisitive. Vijay is a leader in finance and has over 25 years of experience in the dynamic space, which allows him to offer insights into the power of effective BI and the changing role of data in driving business success. Next, Mladen Greiner, who is the CEO of BI4Dynamics, and we are honored to have him here today to show you around. Mladen has over 15 years of experience in BI that allows him to offer practical solutions for reporting in data intelligence and delivering reporting that meets the needs of modern companies and leaders.
Thank you, Brittany. I'm really excited about this session. Thank you for joining. We have a really exciting 1 hour ahead of us. My goal really today is to put myself into the shoes of partners and our clients and ask ourselves, why is it that we are even talking about BI4Dynamics? So I want to talk about what I call the world of DRIP, which is data-rich but information-poor organizations, which leads to, as you all know, ineffective and very slow decision-making. That allows me to situate BI4Dynamics in our world as a partner and, of course, in our world as clients. And then I'm going to hand it over to Mladen, who's going to talk to you about BI4Dynamics, the architecture. I wanted him to show you the demo because I always believe that seeing is believing. He's also going to talk about self-service BI with personal data sources that we now know is allowing us to enable through Power BI Premium, and he'll talk about that as well with a use case. And then I can circle back and talk about how you can start your journey if what you hear today excites you either as a partner or as a client. Brittany has talked about us already. We have been in the dynamic space and the BI space for over 30 years. I started my BI journey with Cognos PowerPlay, so I go back before people even knew what a cube was. And knowing this background and having been in this space for so many years, I'm really excited with BI4Dynamics because it really transforms our world and our clients' world who have Dynamics F&O or Dynamics BC, or in addition to that, they want to leverage non-F&O or non-BC databases into this powerful, rich data warehouse Power BI architecture. The other thing I want to tell you is that this is really not so much about technology. It's about how these kinds of solutions add value for decision-making for the enterprise. I always thought that as a CXO, we are thinking about adding value to shareholders or stakeholders. So we call it kind of value-based management. And then we spend lots of time building foundation for business information architecture. In today's case, Dynamics ERP that we use, even Dynamics CRM, we use some other productivity tools. And good part about these systems is they collect data. They collect data every minute, every second, every day. So we are deluged with data, and the C-suite is saying, okay, I want to make decisions for managing corporate performance, managing HCM. I need now data that is converted to me in, let's call it digestible chunks, which are actionable so that I make decisions. Fairly common sense, every organization or enterprise, be it not-for-profit, be it for-profit, publicly listed, privately held, it doesn't matter. Have dynamics. I know data is being collected. Please give me something really quickly, really cheaply, really fast so that me as a C-suite or managers or directors can make decisions. So that's kind of a business challenge at the high end. Well, if you then start thinking about the dynamics world and we situate ourselves into the 365 world, the left quadrant here says, you know what, but we have Power BI, we have dynamics, why can't I just start? Well, the problem is getting data that is manageable, digestible, easy, without tremendous involvement of business analysts and coders and IT is really difficult. So that's the first challenge. In our world, we wanted our clients to have this easy, out of the gate intelligence that they can use to make decisions with the data they have in their ERP systems, again, in this case, Dynamics. Okay. We also know a couple of other things on the business side. We know that data alone is not enough anymore to move the needle. Everybody needs insight. More is being asked by our business leaders on a strategic level, meaning don't tell me what happened yesterday or a month ago. Tell me what that information provides you to think about the future. And this cannot be done with rear view Excel-based templates. Okay. On the finance team, the pressure is even higher. Everybody wants the finance team to be proactive instead of reactive because they know we have a great ERP system. The other thing people do not like anymore is asking somebody to send them something, either through email or put it on a SharePoint site or put it on Teams chat. They want to be self-served and they want it to be easy. We find currently, in the current state, let's call it a non-BI4Dynamics state, it's simply not possible. We require business analysts and technical people to provide this. Sometimes clients pay us a lot of money to do this, which is good for us, but not really good for the client. We also know that, hey, Power BI and Excel are, of course, great tools. The problem with tools is you could have great tools, but you don't have the right data or the right structured data. And God forbid, you need knowledge of dynamics tables. Well, we were in this conundrum to say clients are asking for all this decision-making information. We are telling them, you know what, go to Power BI and Excel and do what you want, best of luck. Well, that wasn't good for our business and not good for our clients. So we partnered with BI4Dynamics. So that's kind of the context of our journey for BI4Dynamics as their premier partner. Okay. So suddenly now we can take this data that is deep down in the bowels of the ERP, overlay BI4Dynamics that Mladen will show you, and away we go from data to decision with kind of a snap of fingers. Okay. So now this problem we had in my previous slide where I was digging for data, it disappeared. We put BI4Dynamics as an overlay on either BC, NAV, F&O, AX, use your terminology, use Power BI, the cheapest, best BI tool ever created by mankind, excuse me for praising Microsoft, and we're off to the races. Okay. So what BI4Dynamics gives us, it provides us and our clients the only, to be really frank with you, the only solution we came across that is extremely cost effective. It gives plug and play intelligence. It gives reporting, it gives visualizations, all the technical aspects of reporting, data warehouse, tabular model, analysis services, the IT speak, I call it, is handled automatically. Any user, a business user I'm talking about here, can start reporting on key KPIs in no time, because in addition to connectivity to these hundreds of tables in Dynamics that we cannot decipher, we get with BI4Dynamics largest library of Power BI and Excel reports. Not only that, it has every table in the solution. So if our clients don't like what they see, they just click dimensions, measures, filters, and away they go. So they can modify as many reports as they want without talking to a single person in IT or a knowledgeable person about Dynamics tables. Everything is available in the solution, and the setup is fast. And on top of that, they give a no obligation trial offer. So everything good so far as a partner and of course as a client. Okay. So again, I don't want to steal Mladen's thunder here. Literally, you have to see it to believe it. It's developed by business leaders, our experience, as well as Mladen's 15 years of experience. It's available on the desktop and mobile. It goes across all application areas in lightning fast speed to get to these kinds of world-class, best in the business reports and KPIs. So you don't have to ask C-suite, what do you want to see? Because the answer I've heard in last 25 years is, well, everything. Well, no, guys, we have best in class, out of the box dashboards. If these don't satisfy you, you know what? All the dimensions and measures are available for you as well. So really, from data to dashboards in no time. And you get state-of-the-art data warehouse solution as part of the platform that would allow you to use that platform to include additional data sources if that's what you want, okay? And with Power BI Premium and Azure AS, now we can do corporate data and converge that with personal BI. That's kind of my thought process to say, look, really, you can see from my accent, my background, my ethnic background, we are in a nirvana stage. We got the 365 F&O. We now have the Data Lake from Microsoft. We now have BI4Dynamics from BI4Dynamics. We have Power BI Premium to link corporate data to personal data or do paginations if you would like. We now have literally opened any art of the possible or sea of reporting and integration possibilities. We can ask our analysts to combine the Dynamics data with whatever personal data they want to add to it. Within 10 days, we can get it into the client's hands and tell them, don't worry about data validation, extracting data, training on Dynamics tables. Forget about all that. Start analyzing, and from my business perspective, start making decisions, because all these investments in Dynamics is useless, to be frank with you. I mean, of course, it will do debits and credits and transactions, but if you can't use it for decision making, like what's the point? Okay. And in our world, because we also do FP&A platforms, we can use BI4Dynamics Data Warehouse to extract data for something else. I don't know how many clients of yours do that, but it allows us to go back and forth between the DW and anything else we want on the right-hand side without worrying about understanding all these tables in Dynamics and trying to join ourselves. We have data scientists in our firm. We'll utilize them for something else, not for doing the work that BI4Dynamics does out of the box, okay? And by the way, we didn't choose them just because we like the solution. They come with pedigree. They come with trusted around the globe, multiple clients, been there, done that, showed it to us. We tested it, quite happy with the solution ourselves, and our clients are using it and really happy with it. Having said that, I'm going to now pass it on to Mladen, because he's going to show you all the stuff you always wanted to know about, not just the technology, but business user framework using BI4Dynamics. So Mladen, over to you, please.
I will try to explain architecture in 3 simple steps: data preparation, data transformation, and consumption. In preparation phase, we are reading the data from the F&O, exporting it into the data lake, and injecting into the data warehouse. In transformation phase, we do all the data transformation, run a lot of SQL code to do the content that we would like to present to the users. The users would usually not connect to the data warehouse, but to the tabular model hosted either on premises in Azure or in Power BI Premium with their tool. In most cases, this is a Power BI. Let's have a look at these steps a little closer. In preparation phase, it starts with installing extension into your F&O. So export to lake extension is set up together with Azure storage account and Power BI. This is required in order to run the selected tables that are landing as CSV files in the data lake storage. Now, the data lake storage CSV files cannot be read with Polybase. cannot be really usefully consumed with Power BI. So actually the tool of choice is without any doubt Azure Synapse. So this service is reading the CSV files and materializing what we call or inserting these tables into, in our case, in SQL Data Warehouse. The refresh time is not scheduled. It's set up by Microsoft, so we cannot affect, and also the export does not affect the production process. We expect that current 4 times a day daily update will be live in about second half of the year 2022. Now let's have a look how this looks. We're connecting to export to F&O, to export to Lake, where we can see the list of all the tables, of the 15,000 tables that are available in F&O. Now we would definitely not set up and select all tables. We will select only the tables that we are needing for data transformation. So here is a list of tables that start with letter C, just as an example, and we put this into the filter here. Now these all tables have been selected in previous steps, and as you can see here, they are in the status of running, which means the data have been already processed. If this would be our first time, that we would select the table and activate all the table in order to start initializing and running this process. The tables are landing in the storage account, which in our case is in the production, and the structure is the same for every project. So if you look into the transactional table in inventory, so this is where we are going to find invent sum trans and invent trans origin. The tables are in CSV format, 200 megabyte in size. They're also smaller, and they have been updated with a timestamp as we see it here. The tables that contain data are the CSVs, and the tables that contain schema are JSON files. So in order to do some schema transformation, we have to do the transformation based on the JSON files here. Azure Synapse is the engine that does a lot, and it's going to be a future of analytics. It is a SQL and Apache engine. It also provides the pipelines, which we are not going to use. We are going to use a SQL Server engine that is, as you can see here, linked to the storage account, and it is actually available and browsable, the same data that we have seen here. So this would be an SQL query that would be executed. Just as an example, what BI4Dynamics does is a little more complex data transformation, but for a user or for implementation, you do not need to know how this is all set up. Now you may say, oh, Synapse, Azure, another Microsoft service, this might be expensive. Well, actually it is not. Each time when you are running a query, there is a log, which we can just see right now. And you can see that there was running a query, like these queries are different tables, and it took different times, and the data processed. Now, Azure Synapse is a SQL on-demand engine that is charged by the data processed. And what does it mean if we process 10 megabyte of data or 2.7 gigabyte? If we would look into the how much data we have processed, let's have a look into the settings that is available here, and we will see that this week we have processed 700 gigabyte. So what it means, or how much it costs us, is the following. So 700 divided by 5, it's 140 per day, 20 times a month, 20 days in a month. So we totally process almost 3 terabyte of data, but the cost is only $5. So the processing in these projects will cost us only $14 a month. which means the minimum query of 10 MB will be like 5 of a 10,000 of a dollar, or 100,000. It's too small to know. And the one-time processing is going to cost us 70 cents of a dollar. Now, you may not know, but we are running a SQL serverless data warehouse engine, and we are not running a dedicated engine. So this is a serverless engine that is available. It's a huge and a powerful service for Microsoft. It's so good for customer in Dynamics that these are charged per data processed and not per resource as it is here. Because in this case, you would be paying $1,000 up to $330,000 per month. So this is a very, very good Microsoft service, and without any doubt, all the solutions must include this service into their architecture. The next step is data transformation. It's the process where we take a raw data from F&O in CSV forms that were landed in the staging area and do all the content and necessary transformation so that users enjoy the great content. So this is a SQL engine which is super scalable, can process terabytes of data in hours, and can digest any model. And the whole process is fully automated, so you do not have to worry whether this will be affected by a user or any environment. And the good news is that IT is not involved. It is for the modeling, what is important really is your F&O knowledge. We're not going to look into the SQL scripts, however, we're going to look into the content which is built on the 15 years of experience and supports all application area. So let's have a look into the content now. This would be a starting point for any project, and it means that we are providing this as an out-of-the-box solution, and we are going to look into the few application area, like sales dashboard. Starts with sales and inventory and receivables. We are looking into the swinging monthly sales that are shown as a moving average of 3 and 12 months. We're looking into the share of item sales and free text invoices, some averages, our delivery performance, are we late or on time. When we are comparing against year-to-date, year-on-year, or against budgets. Analysis of new businesses, new customer, returning customer, lost customer, or items. Profit or GP should be equal, as well as all other measures as they are in F&O to ascend, inventory information, and part of the receivables. Now, as this is an overview, it means that the details are in other reports, and we are going to look into this. So in every case, we are looking into the same data, the same process. We are just looking into from a different perspective, where we are bringing some item table as customer table. We could be also focused more into item, and we bring the hierarchy that we want to analyze. Now, what is your best customer? You will choose by not one but several KPIs. In sales, we have 300 KPIs to choose from, so that you can see what is good, which is green, so it's like great sales, great year-to-date growth in absolute or in relative terms, or what is bad, a lot of overdue, increase in receivable balance, or not a lot of action, or a lot of invoices is happening here. Now, another view is a view by date, because without any doubt this is the most important dimension. We provide 50 attributes in date dimension, and you may see that apart from the transaction values, we have also the reporting currency. We call this additional currency, where in this case there is a corporate currency selected that is different in exchange rate as 1-on-1, as you can see here. And only with these reporting services we provide about 300 KPIs in the reporting currency itself here. It is also understood that at any time we can filter the tables with Power BI with attributes from another table here. Now let's see some of the details. When we are looking into the delivery, we are looking into the days late and amount late. if a document or a line has been late, and that's based on the promised planned expected delivery date, then we are logging into the days late and we can analyze amount late here. And this part is of course available also in the purchasing part, where we are looking into whether our vendors are delivering us goods or services on time or they are late. So this is a great for delivery performance analysis. We may be into the new business analysis, where we are looking into how many new items or new customers have been sold. And this is a list for a quarter in 2018. These are all demo data, and which, by the way, you can analyze just after this session. You can see I'm logged in here as demo at BI4Dynamics, and we do provide you with absolutely the same experience with the same login as I'm doing this presentation right now. So this is a user that you connect to the Power BI service, and this is the login Power BI. We allow with Zero to get absolutely the same experience as I did. Now we can look into the sales transactions if the customer are changing assortment or any other view. Let's just go through other areas really quick. So we can see in the finance, we can provide information about the financial statement in a visual, tabular or graphical way. We support up to 15 financial dimensions in F&O. And what is also very important for corporates, we have seen the additional currency or reporting currency, as well as date hierarchies as a normal calendar or fiscal date calendar. And this fiscal date calendar also supports the fiscal based time intelligence. What means that calendar date starts in January, the fiscal date starts in July, and we do provide a year-to-date measure. As you can see here, this is a need change or sales. It doesn't matter, year-to-date fiscal, and this is year-to-date variance, which is based on the calendar. It's good because you can see that the performance can be wildly different if there is an exchange rate. Now, in most cases, the KPIs that we have in BI4Dynamics do not require any explanation, are easy to be consumed, and also the navigation through the reports is simple. So if we see here, this is receivable aging by aging buckets over the 2 years that we selected. And if you want to see why is this value here a negative one, every table here is being filtered. We look into the customer value, and you can see this is a customer whose balance in this time was minus 33, and we can go to the document level, which was an open document, should probably not be open, it should be applied to an invoice if that was open at that time. Or for example, top open approach, if we are looking into the aging buckets, and we can just ask who is owing us money more than 2 years. We can see this customer, and with one more click we have the documents that are open at that time for more than 2 year time. Now inventory, I would just highlight one feature, that is inventory balance by aging group. So we have a buckets of aging, it means items not moving less than 100 days to a year or more than a year, and the report would look like this. So you can see the inventory value goes down, which makes us happy. Turnover is faster, which is great. However, if we're looking into the total value by aging buckets, we can see that we are successfully decreasing already fast moving items, but definitely not successfully items which are not moving already by default. And furthermore, we can look into like this, where we would say, do we have a problem or not? So what we have is the aging buckets for an item, where aging buckets are here. A few items, 3 items are under 100 days, which is fine. 99 items are not moving 100 days to a year, and 11 more than a year. And if you look into the aging stock value and compare this value to the last purchase price, then we can see that this bucket here has almost double the price as if you would buy this item now, and this is the average purchase price in the period, which actually confirms this. we have also a good feeling to have a feeling how big of an impact this will be from our balance sheet into the profit and loss. We can see what is the frequency of purchasing, selling, last purchase quantity, and other information just in one simple table. Further, we just have a blend into the manufacturing. We are looking into, we have done probably between 50 and 100 manufacturing projects where we can look at everything that has been consumed by cost groups to everything that we have consumed, produced, and we look into selecting procurement category. Let's say Lady Gaga jeans. This is a manufacturer of textile. We can see the quantities, average cost, how good our plans or bill of materials are, and what we have consumed. So we can at any time we know what was the produced cost, what we have produced, what is the what are the trends, and how are the capacities. We can go to the equipment efficiency and everything that is in the manufacturing, really a lot. And another area that just have a glimpse about this is retail. We have done probably more than 100 retails. So here we are looking into the retail specifics. Retail is everything you have seen in sales plus the retail specific, like basket value, receipts, sales distribution by time, voided transactions, a lot of operational statistics. We look into the basket value, how this is done by the quarter, by the hour, by the store. We have two different types of the stores to analyze by time to a quarter, and for example payment habits of your customer, cash versus cards, and on it goes. So all this comes as an out-of-the-box solution on day one from BI4Dynamics, and our approach is that we don't say we have done 1,000 projects and we can deliver whatever we want. We can say, okay, this is experience from 1,000 projects. We will install it, you will consume it for a while in the POC, but then you just tell us if there is something missing, what is missing. So that's the focus on our project. The last part in our architecture is data consumption. This is a business or semantic layer where users would connect with Excel and Power BI or any other tool. We have seen already the user experience, and I'm just going to explain the implementation option of this business layer. So in every case we are hosting the data in the tabular model. What is the hosting environment? It can be on premises, where analysis services is available on existing hardware, and the access is of course the local, no web access. If we are deciding to host the analysis services by Microsoft, then we would pay per service, not per user, and depending on the data size and the query performance that we have provide to our users, we would select the right service. Last and the most interesting option is to deploy the tabular model into the Power BI premium capacity, also hosted by Microsoft, where we are paying per user, not per server. We don't have to pay $5,000 per month, and it can host bigger models. It's really performant. It provides web and mobile, everything that is available in the Pro account plus more. So this is something that gives you the control over the cost and the features without any compromise. BI over content over services, because we can always go to the document level. We don't have to do services on aggregation and aggregations, and the data size can start with gigabytes or terabytes. The SQL will crunch this data. A semantic layer will aggregate this data, and user will be super happy because all their queries are always in memory. And with different implementation option and setting up of your Azure services will help you to save money on Azure service, on Azure subscriptions, and be super flexible for any foreseeable growth in the future. Another very important thing is the convergence of IT managed, corporate model and self-service BI. And this is something that is a must in every project, because users would like to connect to other sources and not go to IT for kind of changes. So how it works? Now, as a base, this feature is available in architectures that are provided in tabular model hosted in Azure Analysis Services or in Power BI Premium. So this feature is not available in analysis services hosted on premises. So the data that we have seen are hosted in a tabular model, a corporate model. This one hosts 135 dimensional and 45 transactional table. What a composite model means that we are combining two things, the corporate model and the personal data. How it happens? Now we open a Power BI desktop and we connect to the corporate model in a direct query, not in the live but in the direct query mode, and it makes available all tables from the corporate model in our Power BI desktop file or Power BI desktop model. Then we can combine this corporate source with any data that Power BI can connect or provide. It means like 120 databases or data sources that Power BI provides. Everything is available from Excel, social media on the web, or any other part. And after we are creating the model in our Power BI desktop, we are then, if we are using a Power BI Premium, publishing this model back to Power BI service. It is another data set in Power BI service. If we have Azure Analysis Services, then we can share the file with our team members. The data in this tabular model, the corporate data, are always in a corporate data source. The data are viewed, they are not traveling or copied from the corporate data source. We keep one version of true, and this is always managed by IT. But this exercise can be done with advanced users who have permission to publish into specific workspace within the Power BI Premium and will not bother IT at all. So this is by SQL BI team the best feature of Power BI for the year 2021. Let's have a look how it looks. So this is already a quickly built model which we start creating by table. Adding a table will force our connection to the Power BI data source to be in a direct query mode, and this is the way that we added the sales values and date as to dimension. As well, we can revisit and add any other table. Now, as you can see, we can add, for example, just add a real quick currency and company. Okay, so now the new tables are coming to the model, and because this is a direct query connection, the data are always in the corporate data source, and we can extend the model that we have created with any other source from Microsoft Power BI, which means 120 data sources and databases and connectors are available. Of course, we have to take care about the common denominator. In this case, we have a date. Date in the budget is the attribute in the date dimension, and this is it. So now we can publish the changes into the corporate data source or into the workspace that is available or we are having permission to, and this is the way how we can access and share it with others. So everyone else would like to do will just connect to this data source which is residing in Power BI service. And we can also do the subscription of this, as you can see. So the most important part again about this composite model is that the data are in the corporate data model. Our schema is available to be extended with any other external data source that Power BI supports. Another very useful feature in large organizations especially is are paginated reports, and paginated reports are created in Power BI Report Builder. That is a standalone application that you download, connect to any data source. It may not be just the Power BI, it cannot be just the Power BI dataset, can be anything else, and you create a simple report. It's a paginated report also. It says that it should look like a page, and if you look into like this is a view. However, the power of getting this is into different formats. So it's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, TIFF. You can publish it to the web page or send it by email. So let's just look how it looks if we send this by email. So we are going to go to design and publish the report. So we can publish it to any Power BI Premium workspace. This is already a report from the previous exercise. We are connecting. Now we are connecting to the Power BI Premium per user workspace, and this is the report. Now we're not going to consume the report in a form like this, but we are just going to create a subscription or actually view the subscription. The subscription number 1 will be sending the PDF format of this report to the users A every day 8 in the morning, and the users in the group B will receive this in Excel. So you say, okay, what does it mean, user A and B? What kind of users are? So actually I will be sending this to myself and then using the rules in Outlook based on the name of the subject. This will be forwarding report to user A, and this will be forwarded to user B. Very useful in large organization and for those who just want to go to their printer and get the report in hand. Now the design could be better, but just for a showcase this is good. Now the question goes, can this be done with Power BI? I would say not the same way. So let's see the differences between the Premium per user and Power BI Pro. So it's easy to understand from this table that everything that is in the Power BI Pro is also in the Power BI Premium, and almost everything that is the Power BI Premium per capacity is always available in Power BI Premium per user. Now the key differences are, one, for data modeling is definitely the model size, because Power BI Pro maximum size is 1 GB and in the Power BI Premium per user is 100 GB. This will force the modeling effort to be not granular as you like to do, but a lot of effort in aggregation so that you get the model compact enough to be able to be published. The refresh rate is 8 times a day, and here is 48 times a day. For us, very important is that we can publish the tabular model. This is the name of the feature, is XML endpoint read-write connectivity. It's a tabular model as a superset of Power BI in Power BI Premium. This is a feature that enables us. Plus, very important is we can work with paginated reports, which means we can create in a report builder a report and send it to anyone, even if it's not a Power BI Pro user, not directly, but through an Outlook replication. So that definitely makes the difference between $10 per user per month and $20 per user per month as a very good bargain, a Power BI Premium per user option. What about the cost? You may say, yeah, this is Microsoft, they must charge you for this. And what we are discussing here are only the monthly Azure costs. There's nothing with the BI4Dynamics license, because this is a part that depends on the many other parameters. So in our case, we have an example of database size in F&O about 100 gigabyte, and the preparation part is not expensive at all to support on a monthly basis. Let's say $20–30 for a data lake storage, and $10–20 approximately per month for Azure Synapse. Now Azure VM with 8 core and 64 GB of memory would cost you around $2 per hour, and if you run it like 1.5 hours a day, that is 30 hours a month, which is in the range of $60. If you would need a higher VM, then it will be in the range of $90 or $110. Definitely, transformation is also not a considerable cost for the database of this size. Now, the costs occur in an area of analytics, where for this case, this is not the cheapest one. It is just the service that supports tier 2 with 25 GB of disk space or memory space, because database is in memory. For 200 hours, $2 per hour, you would pay $400, and that's also the cost for 20 Power BI premium user, 720 hour, like 24/7, and the data model size is 100 GB, not 200 it says. So this can be, of course, much cheaper if you do not have that big database, or the number of the user is not that big. And the total cost is in the range of $500. And this is very affordable and reasonable. Now back to you, Vijay.
So the question is, gee guys, this sounds kind of wonderful and nice, I hope. How do we start this? And this is the question our clients ask us. Okay, thank you very much, Vijay. How do I start this now? So the idea is really quite simple. You know what? Don't take a risk. We always tell clients, anybody can do a PowerPoint, even a demo, as great a demo Mladen did. Let's install BI4Dynamics in your world. Give you 30 days to play with it. Get insights. It's not going to change anything with your data. There is no performance issues. There is nothing. Now we have Data Lake. Install the Data Lake. We'll help you on that. Okay. And then after 30 days, decide whether you like it or not. But it's your data. We'll spend some time with you. Again, no cost. Your data will get you running there. And after you do the trial, we'll make sure that everything works. Do a full day workshop. We may even customize some Power BI dashboards. Some clients of ours say, you know what, I use Power BI. My team even uses Excel, but Vijay or Mladen, we don't know, are they any good at it or not? Can you do some training on Power BI? Absolutely, because we are here to help our clients get what they want as fast and quickly and hopefully very inexpensively as they want. Okay. The pricing is really affordable, but it depends upon a couple of things, and we need to have a conversation on that if you're excited about this. Okay. One is, what is the optimized option? Is it AAS? Is it Power BI Premium? How many users I have? How many companies I have? How many users we have on F&O? How many companies I have, their currencies, what have you? And some clients say, I don't want everything. You know what? I'm not into retail, so I'm not interested in retail. I don't have a warehouse. Can you give me a price based upon the application areas and the companies and the users we have, and suggest to me the best option of going forward with it? So that's just a conversation, takes an hour or two with a questionnaire, you fill it up, and we get on with life. So really, the whole idea for me as a partner and in the BI space is find a solution for our clients that is scalable, affordable, doesn't require rocket science, and get it for them to use the F&O data to make timely decisions with actionable insights. We had a product like this 25 years ago in Dynamics GP space. We call them quick cubes using PowerPlay. We were way ahead of our time. I call this internally, we are the bleeding edge, not at the leading edge. So I'm so glad and actually envious that Mladen did that in the F&O and the BC space. So questions? I know we're running out of time here. We have 5 minutes. Any questions, Brittany, that came about that we need to answer?
Yes.
Anything in the chat? Go ahead,
yes,
please.
Thank you both so much for your time. We did have a few questions come in. The first one is, how many days do you need for training, and how are users trained?
Very good question. There are two parts of training, right? One training is training on how to look at the dashboards and get business insight. The second training is Power BI training. Some clients just want Power BI trainings. Let me not worry about the second piece. Let me just worry about the first piece. Those who know your data, meaning they are your business analyst, those who know Power BI and Excel, by application area, no more than 1 hour, because they know the data, they can see the dashboards, they understand the dashboards, they just want to feel comfortable. We have a client in the Caribbean, they couldn't even believe it. So what do you mean we have everything? I said, guys, you have everything. Don't create any new reports. Get to the 150 first, then you worry about it. So long answer to a short question, 1 hour per application area for those who know your business and who work in your company and who know Power BI and Excel.
Great, thank you. We do have one more. Can we configure all default Power BI reports?
Yep, why not? It's all dimensions, all measures are available to you. Go to town. Duplicate the report, change everything you want. All the filters, all the visualization, absolutely. It's open. It's Power BI, no issues.
Great. All right, well, that concludes the questions that we did have come in. Again, thank you so much, Vijay and Mladen. If you are interested in getting started with BI4Dynamics, the first step is reaching out to us for a discussion and to understand your specific needs. So please email us or visit the BI4Dynamics website. All of the details are on the screen here, and we hope to hear from you. Thank you again, everybody, and have a great day.